Here we go for the first match of the playoffs. We have Oops on the defense, we have GoHard on the attack, and it looks like GoHard are going north, Mojo.
It's a part of the mind games we were talking about. Usually you would do that with these tanks, but GoHard decided to play different. So they're gonna show Tyne here, going for the 2-cap, and as Butchot spotted, maybe try to lure off Oops tanks away. So they will just focus more on that side while they press Percussiat. It will be really important now how Percussiat positions and what happens. Will they do the damage on these Butchots? That will soon go and cross.
It's going to be very interesting because Percussiat is somebody we've talked about sometimes as being, sometimes perhaps making a bit of weak mistakes in the team and getting himself caught out. We see the first shot coming back out, Annihilator taking a hit. No, Kaizu actually being the one taking the hit and Percussiat taking a hit in return, but more damage actually going on to Kaizu. Now in return, Karibari is also getting hit. He seems to be the focus as he's the first one. Always the first one across that gap, always the first one shot at, as Percussiat is going to drop here, Mojo.
This is a mind play we were talking about, and it completely worked for GoHard. There was only sporadic and really little damage coming to the tanks there. Usually when the Butchots would cross, they would take immediately horrible damage. But look at this, cap is going on and they have all 7 guns in the game.
We are down to 14 seconds on the cap as Oops are starting to reposition their tanks to come back and try and defend the cap. Already Camille is getting absolutely focused here by GoHard. He's going to be the next one out of the game if he's not careful. Oops are getting shots back into the tanks of GoHard. We see Tyne nearly dropping, Kaizu nearly dropping as well, but they are still in the battle. It's still 7 guns to 5 guns, and Oops are really got a battle on now.
Oops are in a problem here, already 2 guns down, and they have to sacrifice so much HP, while GoHard can just go simply move away and rotate now, because they have the mobility.
Diplomat and Kaizu backed off there, and that really changed the counter on the cap circle, but it's not really the cap circle right now that GoHard are focused on. They're using that as a bait to draw Oops in, and they're trying to focus down tank after tank as they come in. But right now it's a bit stationary.
Grossa is a big problem for them here. In this cooldown he can be penned, but he is the one that's actually controlling the cap. So he is the key issue for GoHard. But also, if Tyne manages to take out Algo in a back, he can do a rotation and bring Oops into a big problems. Now, there is 2000 HP almost of difference. Algo is playing really careful. We must commend him for that. But the main battle tanks are losing the battle on the north.
It was a huge 2-hit combo there from Diplomat and Purple taking out Insane as he was the closest on the corner. Now, GoHard still have control completely here of the north cap. Oops are trying to do something round the back, but this is going to be GoHard's battle, Mojo, isn't it?
It looks like that, and Algo should finish Tyne, but he cannot yet. And the cap, look at the cap, and who will protect Melee? And he's alone against so many tanks there.
3 seconds, there's another reset coming in, but GoHard, I mean, they have 5 guns left to 1 of Oops, as Algo is the only person left in the RU. GoHard are bloodied and beaten. They have taken a bit of a pummeling here, but they are coming out on top. And they are taking this first one from Oops. The team with the second best defense have just lost another little notch in that record.
This is a really important moment for GoHard now, because as we said already, this is the most defensive map, and usually in order to win it, you have to resort to some really ultra high risk tactics from the start. Most of the teams that try to attack slowly just fail miserably, because if you allow defender to just displace their tanks as they wish and control the battlefield, is already over. Now this kind of play worked out well for GoHard. They shown something and they did something else. It's like those little car tricks on the street, but that's the way how you play Ruinberg, at least in attack.
The interesting thing as well is GoHard have tried tactics like this before, and they've really got it wrong. Like, they've done the rush across. You've usually had Karibari and Annihilator side by side, and they've been Karibari's usually been wiped out, and the teams read the push for the north cap, and this time Oops didn't seem to read that at all, did they?
This is not about GoHard at all, how they played it, honestly. This is about Oops allowing it, because they committed too much aim and guns on the other side, seeing only one Butchot on the middle, and they completely ignored the fact they can be easily pushed on the other side, and GoHard did exactly that. And once they lost Percussiat, who was an anchor on that side, it was just too late.
Yep, nicely done by GoHard. This is the GoHard that we were seeing at the start of the season with nice plays that were going in their favour. So, damage, who do you think came out on top?
This game? Let's see. Should be maybe even Gorilla.
Gorilla Diplomat? Okay, I'm going for something like Karibari. Let's have a look and see. So we have a look at the damage done here. Oh, okay. Mayland. How can we underestimate Mayland? Always is a safe bet if Milan's in the battle.
So Mayland, the top damage dealer at 50B, he was playing from the red line, covering and sniping shots from there. Spoink, TVP, he was doing rotation from the city. And then we have the Bachats, all the 3 Bachats that were pressing and playing the houses. Those were the guys who actually attacked. The Percussiat Kerryberry, not so much.
Kerryberry. He's carrying his team in a way because he's at the bottom of them.
Look at, on other hand, look at the Oops.
Yeah.
Insane in FV heavy.
Camille, yep.
They were wrecked while they were approaching.
Yeah, they were the ones. I mean, they approached across the field. You saw it with Camille. He was going right across the field, heading towards the fountain. Too many guns available to aim at him. Now let's have a quick look at the highlights of the match, and we can see the kind of key points where things just kind of went wrong for Oops Mojo.
This is the first moment and most critical one when GoHard, look at the HP, they barely were scratched while they were crossing this. This is the normal spot where the teams would just annihilate Bachats crossing, at least killing one and damaging another one a lot so they could trade with Percussiat. But like this, it was a freebie.
Yeah, so good starting performance here from GoHard, and Oops still have a lot to do here. If GoHard can take the win now on the attack, that's going to be a huge bonus for them, 2-0 up at the start.
It's a really important one because it will allow them to play more eased up. But still, we said this is best of 13. It gives a lot of opportunities to teams to actually come back in a game. Because one map can go wrong for GoHard, and then it's all even, Steven. We will see, no matter what happens, minimum of 4 maps here. Because even if someone wins 7-0, they still have to go in that 4th map.
That's correct, yeah. Now let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 here on Runeberg and see which vehicles the teams are going to be bringing with them.
Okay, now we have Oops playing aggressive French lineup with the exception of Roux, but he is the fastest light in a game. So you can expect what's going to happen here. With 50 Bs, most likely it will be the green field because it's really hazardous to play the other side. On other hand, GoHard here playing with 2 TVPs and a 54 light. 54 light usually used to press the red line towards the 2 cap, and TVPs, my bet is they are going to try to clip out sound. Maybe that Roux will be in a big trouble actually.
It's a very mobile setup here from GoHard. They've got that 113 as an anchor.
It's
they're kind of used to try and bait something, but a lot of it's going to depend on individual skills of the players.
It's a really
here.
risky setup because TVPs, those TVPs, if they manage to do some initial damage, they will be a really big blessing for them. But if they don't, Oops will actually annihilate them because TVPs are easy to kill.
Now there's been a roster change here for Oops, as we see Percussiat has dropped down and Silence has came up and replaced him.
Yeah, Percussiat is not really a big Bachat player, so that's a normal change.
Oops making use of their roster swaps and being able to substitute players in and out, but everything's the same on GoHard's side as we can jump into the battle here. GoHard on the defense, Oops on the attack. How do you predict this one's going to go at the start, Mojo? Where do you think Oops are going to go?
Oops should go for the green side with this, but we will see. Last time we also saw a mind playing by GoHard, so it can happen anytime here as they judge is fit. But majority of the forces of Oops is going down, so I believe the main battle will be there. Usual approach would be to go more aggressive and approach those buildings. My bet is here they are deliberately getting spotted with Spoink in Insane to drag away some of the forces from GoHard so they could do less damaging approach from the other side.
It almost worked as Kaizu and Purple moved away there, then came back in. They almost took the bait.
Interesting is they did not do the fast spot with Algo. Maybe exactly because of those TVPs, because they would probably be able to annihilate him.
Yep. Interesting as well, Annihilator is the one who's on the lightweight here. So he takes 2 huge shots there. Not very good start, Annihilator there. You need to be keeping yourself alive as possible. He's almost on a 1-shot if somebody gets a good high roll there.
It's really strange how he positioned so badly, so he got spotted by casual driving by Algo, and he was an easy pick for Oops here. But still, he's alive, and he's more than 1-shot, so he can receive one and still stay alive.
So slow start to this match compared to the last one, as we see Susika going down the road here, down the 0 line.
He has to play really careful because positioning like that can go wrong in so many ways. Like one little glitch, one little peek from the bushes, 1 centimeter that some armor is peeking too much, and those 4 guys will make him remember the day.
Nice position here from Kaizo, able to use the wreckage of the fountain to shield a lot of his tank. Algo just going to drive about and be a pain in the rear end right now so he can get some quick spots and try and get himself back in cover. It's going to change quite a lot of the next patch for Scouts, isn't it, Mojo?
Yes, but that's in the future now. The spotting system will be completely different. Yeah, as example, guys, when we have tanks now going behind the corner, and then they're going after another corner, and you just see their back end. They're just leaving as you want to shoot them, but you didn't see them on time. Now you will see them from the first second, and you will be able to connect. But that's then, and this is now. And honestly, they will play LAN with that new patch. That's gonna be quite a good test.
It's gonna be interesting to see how that affects the light players. So Algo just driving up across here towards the 2 area. We can see Melan and Camille coming up behind him. They're both in the 50Bs as Suxika takes the shot. But exactly as you said, Mojo, dangerous place to be because you can be spotted, and already Suxika is gone. Trading a bat chat for an RU. Not sure if that's something I'd want to do.
That's not a really good trade, and I believe the Suxika is probably... He killed himself because it looked to me that he fired the shell. I'm not 100% sure. I will check after the match.
He did
but
shoot.
If he did that, that's a rookie mistake, and it may cost his team direly now.
He shot the first one into Algo, and then it was Carry Barry in the corner, then got additional shots.
Carry Barry can afford himself that because he's in cooldown in the corner, he's well covered. But Suxika standing there like a pillar in the middle of the map with no protection except the bush. Well, the bushes don't bounce the shells, mate.
Yep. Should be a bit more hard cover. I mean, he could have been on the other side of the road, but he wouldn't have had the vision. So, dangerous play there, playing the bushes there to try and keep yourself spotted, especially when you don't know where the rest of the enemy team is.
It's fine. His position was fine until he shot. I mean, Algo would not see him. That's for sure. And he would see the rotation of enemy tanks. But shooting, that was just greedy.
It's a very patient game here, Mojo, from Oops. What is their game plan from here?
Obviously, they're still keeping these guys in the back because once they start the push, they will go in the back, try to deal with these guys, and then do the pincer and shoot them from the back. It's a risky play because they can be overmatched by GoHard, but losing a tier 10, GoHard can be in a problem. And there we go, there is a push by Insane.
Insane's making a move here down the bottom. It looks like Grossa and Sealance want to get the jump onto Carry Barry. As you can see, his health just dropping like a rock off the side of the map, and now he is dead. That push at the bottom happened. There was no additional cover onto Carry Barry. Insane gets the kill on Annihilator, and Oops are finally making their move here.
Deploys very careful. He did not allow himself to get caught like Percusiat, but still it might not save him against these Clippers. Point has enough HP to deal with him, and Insane does not have to do any risk there. Important part is now that Carry Barry in the corner is also dead. Yes, they sacrificed one medium for that Grossa, but it's worth it now because actually Oops is in control of the map. Yes, they have 5 guns, about the same HP, but they are in control.
In the blink of an eye, GoHard have lost a couple of tanks. Now they only have 3 tanks. Fair play to them, the tanks have a lot of health, but they have a lot to do as Oops have 5 tanks available to counter them. And those 5 tanks are all autoloaders, so that's a heck of a lot of firepower to be directed back at GoHard.
Oh, Kaizu got spotted here in the middle. He is by the fountain, but he is pretty much stuck there. And now he will be fired upon from probably 2 sides because those 50Bs will soon come closer and engage. Melan still has a lot of HP to throw around. Camille is just the only one who has to be careful what he does. Purple
choosing to fight here against Spoink. It's an interesting trade-off as the TVP can't kill him quite now. Purple's now going to get shot from the other side. Spoink has 2 shots which should finish him. There's a missed shot there from Camille, but Purple, next shot, you're going to die, mate. Spoink's just holding the shot as it's Meland actually who picks up the kill. GoHard down to 2 tanks left, and this is pretty much going to be 1-1 Oops GoHard, Mojo.
Actually, Spoink there could not afford to peek because he would die for sure from the crossfire, so he did the next smartest thing. He was just keeping him proxied, so the guys from another side, which we already mentioned, Camille and Melan, could just go and shoot him in the back because he had nowhere to go at that moment. And this is a really strange situation now. We've seen both teams take Ruinberg attack.
Ruinberg attack, a map that was historically known as a very defensive map. And this season, actually, yeah, there has been a lot of offensive wins. Teams are able to play a bit more about with the tactics. I've started to get reads on this.
That was mainly in the start of the season. Coming to the end, it actually shifted completely in defense side. So, surprisingly, now, after all this time, all these matches, and the tactics scene, both of them managed to take attack and pretty interesting, in interesting ways. This was a really good mind play by Oops here.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, both teams were like, okay, you think we're going to do this? Well, we're actually going to do this. Haha, you weren't ready for it. And I'm just like, ah. Nuts. You got us. Well played, guys.
Well, that's Ruinberg 101.
Yes, Runeberg. It's always one of my favourite maps just for the fact you can sometimes get crazy lineups. But not a lot of teams have been doing crazy lineups. We've been seeing it on other maps. We've been seeing it on things like Cliff, where we saw a mouse on Cliff from GoHard. We've seen E100s and mouses on mines as well. So I like it when teams do something different.
It's a tricky map because when you're a defender, you rely on your best judgment, where to push and where to counter-attack. If you are late, you might really lose directly, although it's a small map like we see now. If you overcommit on one side, there's just maybe on the other side. So we've seen it happen in both games here, but now we should see the stats.
Yes, let's have a look at the damage done in that battle and see where it all mainly came from. I was going to say Mayland again because he was still alive at the end and was in an autoloader, so it's always a safe bet. Spoink, the player you highlighted at the start as well, Mojo coming second top there. 4 more shots than Mayland, but Mayland with the 4 kills. Kill secure, so MVP there for Mayland. Well done, son.
That's pretty well played by him. As usual, I guess he wants to redeem himself for not being there to fight with Utopia, and then we would not even have to watch Oops here because Utopia would be in their place.
Diplomat had a really rough game in the 113 up top. He was jumped on pretty quick and only managed to get 1 shot out that actually landed.
Algo did here nothing, but actually he did his role, because his role was just to spot around and be thrown around as a bargaining chip. So exchange of Algo for tier 10 Suxika, who did exactly 1 shot on him. I would say that brought a win here to Oops and all the rotational possibilities they needed.
This is Algo, yes, you can see the shot coming out from Suxika, you could see the tracer line there, and that's what caused him to be spotted.
This is really a rookie mistake, something that he will have to think upon and not do it again on some of the next matches here. We see a cooperation between Spoink and Insane. Spoink being a Bachat with more HP, he dealt with the immediate danger. And these are just dying moments of the GoHard, so nothing really to see that.
The last gasp breaths of the GoHard tanks. So 1-1 after our first battle, our first match there, our first map.
Well,
On Runeberg.
Since GoHard took the first game, I was really actually surprised to see this happen like this, especially in the manner that Oops did, because this was a really tactical game.
Yep, now let's have a look at the lineups for our next map, which is going to be Prokhorovka, where we see Oops starting on the defense with GoHard starting on the offense.
Well, again, nothing really special to say about this map, about these teams. They're above 50% both, so it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be a matchup between them. What can we say about Prokhorovka? A lot of rotations. Rarely we can see any cheese here that can work. It's usually just good spotting, positioning, and taking out enemy gradually. Oops here on defense has only 1 heavy, E5, and covered by Grille. We've seen that played on many occasions. They can even go completely in forest with this, or they can leave an E5 as a bait out there to get spotted while they do the rotations with other people. GoHard on the other side, I7 and 113. Strong lineup, maybe even a woods push.
Interesting, so let's find out who can take the first battle as we jump into Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
And here we go, looking at the viewpoint of GoHard as they're all going to the east side of the map, Mojo. Looking like to get some control on the hill or even in the town. They're going hyper defensive in that corner.
Well, that's one way to attack it. So they are going to use... Well, the smartest thing is honestly on this map not to split a team that much. We've seen a lot of guys, especially in attack, they like to split left and right, and then some offensive push by defenders, in this case Oops, would cut off several of their tanks and kill them.
This is new from GoHard. I've not seen a team do this before on attack.
Well, they are heavily counting that Oops is not on that side, because that push from the hill cannot be stopped by several tanks, and they might actually end up in a problem. I mean, Oops Spoink might get cut off, but Algo should actually see them on time. And then it's all about the rotation coming in from Oops, because they need to be there and cover him immediately.
So they were pushing the IS-7 up there at the start just to get him a bit quicker. Scarium in the IS-7. Now we see Percusiat back in the lineup again for Oops in the E5.
As usual, he's their heavy tank player and single shooter heavy tanks. Spoink, really careful there. He's already running away. Look at this.
All the spots onto GoHard. Huge hit from Mayland into Scarium there. 807 just introducing himself to the GoHard team. As we see the rotation now from Oops are going to switch round into the middle of the map to counter this push from GoHard. And we're going to get a good old-fashioned blow, but already Algo is just eliminated. He's gone.
But that shot by Scarium on Algo, like while he was driving over the hill and just spanked him with one on the way. Come on. I7, like the biggest aim in a game of all heavy tanks. Oh well, things happen, I guess.
Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky. But I mean, look at the lineup now from Oops as they start to spread across the entire side of the map.
Well, yes, they lost Algo, which can really be a problem for them in a later part of the game. But important thing is that actually Spoink is alive, so they didn't lose a single tier 10, and there was some damage done in exchange to Scarium, so not all is really lost there. Now, we need to see how GoHard actually wants to approach them and apply pressure, because in order to even trigger a cap, GoHard actually needs to take all the high ground positions, then press the heavies toward them, and then put someone in a cap. It's a process, and they cannot really do it lightly, because they do not know 100% where Oops is. They know where they are not, because they're spotting back with the light tank, and they know they're not really aggressively watching the A6 because they have a Bachat already on A0, but still, they need to realize where is majority of Oops forces. And these mediums actually approached the bottom line without getting spotted. Grossa, Insane and Camille here.
Grossa has peeked over the rails and been spotted by Annihilator. Insane's getting spotted now. Camille gets spotted now. Grossa will get spotted now. So GoHard will know that they're coming around the back behind them, and GoHard are going to have to make a push on the top side before this Batchat Wolfpack comes around. See Annihilator getting demolished there as he tries to run away. Down on 51 health. That's the crossfire from the middle. But here comes the counter push from GoHard in the middle. They know they have to do something quick, because these three Batchats from Oops right now are not able to commit anything to this fight. GoHard need to push their advantage, and they need to push it quick.
Yeah, but Oops guys, they should be there to help them recently. And I think Grossa is already coming down. Look at the damage Kerry Berry is taking. Why is he doing that alone?
GoHard are just sitting here in the town. They're not pushing over the rails and using the overmatch, and it's allowing the Batchats of Camille and Insane to unload their entire clips into the flank of GoHard. You can see wholesale damage across the team of GoHard. Nothing really back in Oops other than Mainland getting just removed from that fight.
Melee just tried to cross toward his Batchats, the rail, and he was like, okay, I will probably survive with 500, 600 HP, but he got tracked in a worst moment and died there. That's actually a big loss for Oops. Though they have the advantage in HP, it's really not decided, because they might lose several tanks easily because they're split off.
GoHard and Oops have completely swapped places at the moment from where they originally spawned. I was going to say earlier on how it moves from a north-south battle into an east-west battle. Now we're back to north-south with GoHard in the spawn area of Oops, and Oops more or less coming in from where GoHard was a couple of minutes ago.
Kerry Berry played really carelessly entire game, and he got removed on the same fashion. Now that really might actually lose them the game, like Suxika's play in the last time. Percusiat here, for the first time, we can actually say he's holding his ground there like a boss. If he actually had Mayland behind him alive, he would be really heavy tank there.
Grossa and his Batchat with just a single crew member left, as he's lost his commander and he's lost his gunner. It's his driver and his tank who's doing everything for him. Camille wants to try and get into Tyne and Scarium here. If he can get his clip off, that's going to be huge. But Grossa and Spoink come over as well. Grossa's driving. Poor driver's trying to do everything here. Scarium and Tyne are going to get focused. There goes Scarium. Are we going to see Tyne go down as well? We do. So Oops, 3 tanks against GoHard's 3 tanks is still anybody's game right now.
But Kaizo is here in a problem, and if he dies, GoHard has barely any possibilities how to deal with this match, because the only guy that can do anything is Purple. Purple is currently coming in their back. He should be done with his reload shortly because he emptied his clip, killing Percusiat from the back. But Kaizo now, ooh, great shot here by Diplomat.
Kaizo missing 2 shots there onto the tank in the middle as the tank can just come over now and remove him. Oops with only a single vehicle left, and Spoink, Annihilator, still managing to survive on his 51 health. Purple with all the HP. Diplomat, it's not a one shot, but this is going to be GoHard's one, Mojo.
Yes, I think it was a mistake for Mayland. I understand his intention, what he wanted to do, to cross on a safer side, but he judged the timing wrong. If he stayed actually behind that E5 and managed, maybe even tried to run away in the back and just hide in the bushes to cover that E5, it might have done wonders for Oops. Like this, they were forced to play these butt shots, and then again, they had a bad timing when they pushed those 1-1-3s in the center. Camille was actually alone in a start, and he took too much of beating for that. And they didn't just push them down, like so the other guys from the forest could not shoot them easily. They stood up and fought. It wasn't the best display over them. Still, there is possibility here for Spoink to win this, but it's really slim.
The danger of Spoink trying to win this is he needs to somehow do damage to Purple without taking damage back, knowing that all the while you have Diplomat who can potentially smack him for a heck of a lot of damage, and at the same time he needs to spot Annihilator in the cap circle.
He needs to deal with the Diplo first and Nile and try to run away from Purple. That's the only way he can win this game.
And already, Purple smells it. He smells where Spoink's going to be.
Smelly Spoink.
He's like, hang on a minute, guys. He's not going to come through the town. He's going to try and loop all the way around into the bushes. Although Diplomat in his camouflaged grill is likely to find him first.
Well, Purple is just doing the smartest thing. He's driving like a maniac on the middle, trying to see will something trigger his sixth sense and signal him where Spoink is. Now that's actually also a big give because since he's not spotted, there can be only 2 places. 1-2 line or the village side.
Oh,
but Diplo is not watching the way where he should.
Diplomat drives out and makes himself visible.
Ooh, but he connects!
He does connect. Spoink gets the kill on him. He's going to charge in and try and get Annihilator, but Purple's going to finish him off. He's already taken a bit too much hit there. That hit from Diplomat was massive. So Spoink almost, oh, Purple misses his first one.
Connection!
Purple hits with the second one, and he hits with the third one. So there we have it. GG GoHard. Purple surviving there on 924 health as the only tank. That was closer than we thought it would be at the end there.
Well, I must commend Spoink there. He actually connected all shots and did everything correct. He was just outnumbered.
Yeah, just unlucky taking a hit from Diplomat. I mean, had he not taken a hit from Diplomat...
He had a chance, actually.
And,
a good fighting chance.
Yeah, had he not taken a hit from Diplomat and Purple missing a shot, that would have tied up the fight between them.
Completely.
I could have gone right down to wire. In fact, it did really go down to wire. It was a very close game. A very entertaining game. The repositioning of the teams, the constant rotations was quite crazy, actually.
Yeah, it's like a old school Ensk played before, yin and yang. You have the division of the rail right in the middle and you play around it. So it's all about timings and little mistakes that some players can make. We've seen several of them. In both teams make some, and that costs. So the sum comes later. You can see always the team that did less mistakes and better plays, he will of course win.
Let's have a look at the stats there. Pretty sure it's not going to be Mayland who's top damage.
But it could be Spoink.
It could be Spoink. It could be Spoink, actually. Purple has survived with a lot of health, which means he probably was able to get a lot of shots off as well.
He did a lot of shots on E5 also, but yeah, Spoink it is.
Spoink and Diplomat, and then Purple.
Yep.
Mayland, still getting eliminated fairly early on in the battle, comes in 4th. Well played, laddie.
Well,
Purple, look at the kills. Holy moly.
5. Such a step
Kill
better.
secure, Purple. 15 shots, 5 kills. Pew, 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 pew. It's like a kill every 3rd shot. Decent. I'll take that in a bat chat. His damage could have been higher though, but we'll let it slide because he had 5 kills.
Well, Grossa lost a lot of HP while they were crossing the rail and he didn't connect much, sniping before from the hill. So a lot of, I would say, missed shots by him, and you can see only 2 kills from those 600 damage dealt.
Let's have a look at the highlights for the best action bits of that battle.
Well, this is Algo getting annihilated in the start of the game. I mean, Scarion connecting him for that 543, I remember. And this is the moment like, why did you try to cross there?
He tried to cross and he was like, oops, he just turned around and like had his back to
I
him
mean, he
and
was
tried
worried
to run
that
away.
he will get locked and they will get overmatched in that side of the battle. So that GoHard guys, though they're lower HP, they would just push them over and try to kill them. But in reality, if he just stood back and just did that one extra shot, maybe it would decide the game. But you can never know that in that moment.
This situation here where Kaizu missed 2 shots into Grossa and then Insane comes over, gets the kill on Kaizu, then Insane dies. Had Kaizu got the kill on Grossa with one of those shots, he would have then had at least 2 shots for Insane and probably could have perhaps survived that area if he'd snapped the shot of Insane quickly.
Unlike him, actually, Diplomat was really well aimed and he wrecked Insane in that moment. So pretty decent play here. Diplo was really one of the key players for their victory together with Purple, but Purple mainly had a really clean shot while rotating, while Diplo had to line up and be in a really correct spots all the time.
Yeah, important to have their position right. Now let's have a look at the lineups going into round 2 here and see which vehicles are going to be used for each team. IS-7 again for Oops.
Well, Oops playing with RT in offense here. Now we've stated many times so far, when you play offense with RT, you need to get one, control of the map. Second thing, you cannot spread too much tanks away because then the defender can actually press you and use the fact that you have one shooting tank less. So with RT, you always need game to last a bit longer. So actually RT can come in that effect, and GoHard having 2 heavy tanks there, they're an easy prey for that Lorraine, who is a fast loader RT, not great damage, but still it can be rotated anywhere on the map you want, and it's fairly accurate.
Okay, another interesting thing I noticed here is that the lineup from GoHard is the exact same. They've just swapped out the heavies. They've swapped out an IS-7 for an E5 this time.
E5 is really one of the best cooldown defenders here, but I don't know, 113, it's good for rotation, but MRX dies too easy in defense. I would actually rather use an IS-7. I guess it's a personal preference, maybe.
Okay, well, let's find out which team got the best picks and which team is going to win or lose as we can jump into round 2 here on Prokhorovka. GoHard this time defending, Oops this time attacking. Just how effective is Insane going to be in that artillery? It's going to be a really key vehicle actually for this fight.
Well, it's all about positioning for one, and we need to see how will GoHard decide to play this. They should play it aggressive, but look at this. Grossa sitting here in a bush.
He's waiting for someone to come over.
He's actually trying to spot the rotation from the enemy, so Grilla could have some shots and maybe some other guys. But really aggressive spotting here by Spoink. He will have to fall down here in a ditch because there is no way to climb a hill from that side when you're... Oh, he already took a smack by Annihilator.
A sneaky little shot from Annihilator as the crossfire comes back into him. You can see shots coming from the rail, coming from Spoink as well. Annihilator's able to get away from only one hit coming into him as he gets positioned now on the hill. Caribari, somebody shooting across into him, but they can only hit the buildings. And GoHard have got himself into a nice position here, Mojo.
And this can go both ways. You can see already RT is moving away because he has only bad shots on the hill from the position where he was on. But he could pound the tanks. Also, in a later stage of the game, if they decide to run away, he would not be able. He will not be able to. He will be easily killed. So good move by him to move away, and he will probably try to smack someone either on the hill. So far, not much damage exchanged, but GoHard has maybe slightly better position here because they can lock some of the Oops tanks before they run away on the other side.
Annihilator getting double tracked there. You can hear the crew messages coming in there. He is now dead. A bit of an overextension there up on the top of the hill and being unfortunate to be tracked twice in a row. In return, it looks like GoHard want to try and push into Percusia. It was a nice shot from Tyne, but a great return shot there from Percusia, and he has the higher roll.
Those heavies might be in a problem because all the batches from Oops are on the other side. So if they commit on Algo, I think there will be a push on those heavy tanks. There is an RT shot here on Tyne.
Nice shot from Insane as we see Caribari and Purple moving down as well. Looks like they want to get the shots into Grossa, I believe it was, but we have all the tanks down the bottom corner ready to shoot them. Mayland again being focused. They're trying to take out the grill. Spoink getting focused as well. This is really good play from GoHard. They're taking a lot of damage in return though, as Purple we see being the first one to drop. Algo still shooting across from his crossfire position. Oops, able to retreat back over the rail, but what an absolute pummeling GoHard have taken trying to get this push here.
It was a really good trap by Oops here because they actually hit all the butt shots. They waited for Algo. He was like a sacrificial lamb there. They left him down there so GoHard would try to take advantage of a solo tank, and then they peaked with everything they had to just take out the butt shots they saw. It was a good play by them, and Algo is still alive here.
I was just about to say, Kaizu has still got all the health to play with right now from GoHard, but he did a suicide run down the hill here to try and get the jump into Algo. He doesn't have the shot. He does have the shots now, but the minute he peeks round that rock, he's dead. He's going to get shot at by the remaining tanks from Oops. He does get the kill onto Algo, but now he's stuck. He can't go anywhere.
Everyone is actually in reload, so he might fall after Algo's position and try to play from that trench. But so far, Oops has better positions because the only person having any significant HP in GoHard team is Diplomat, and we know that Grilla is not really a tank that you can rotate that easily around when you have Bachats in the other team. And look at Camille, full HP. He is the guy who can bring a victory to his team now.
Massive hit! I was just about to say, you can't discount the artillery for Oops. They have 4 guns and an artillery, and at some point that's going to have a major impact, and there you go. Insane introducing himself to Diplomat and saying, hello mate, you like to play artillery? Me too, let's share some shells with each other. Kaizu coming over here to kill Mayland, and this is going to be Oops picking up this one. It's going to be 2-2 here on Prokhorovka, and then we're going to be going into steps all squared.
Wait, it's still not over. Kaizu is fighting for his life here. He has 4 shells. Maybe there is a chance. No, not really. Sorry, Kaizu, but you can discuss with your team already the next map.
Lining it up, waiting for him to stop. There we go. Oh, you saw the tracer just coming, flying past the screen there.
I like the movie effect of water going up.
Yeah, I love the sounds as well when it's like, Phew! Oh, Spoink, bold. Not enough speed there to get quite over the rails.
Oh, he didn't have him reload. He was just keeping his spotted for other guys. Ah, Grossa got picked up, but still Camille with 100% HP and Spoink on other side. They will be bringing the end to him.
Well, there we go. Trade for trade, punch for punch right now. Oops and GoHard not really giving each other any kind of breathing room. Shouldn't have jinxed it earlier on. We're talking about tiebreakers, Mojo.
Oh, but this is a good play between these teams. I mean, Oops read GoHard really well, led them in a trap, played offensive from the start, left only Percusiat against 2 heavies, so the 2 heavies from the GoHard were locked away from the battle all the time, pummeled by RT and kept in check because they could not really push over. They knew there are some Oops guys still behind the tie 7, so they had to stay there. They had to stay close to the middle so they would be able to support the hill, and thus they will just shell by RT all the time. And GoHard doing that move was a forced one. They did not expect so many tanks from Oops to peek over, I guess. And they did almost kill Mainland, but the keyword is almost.
Almost, yep.
And they lost 2 Bachats in the process, and they even didn't kill Algo. So, not a good trade there.
Yep, it was a big trade, big fight that time. It was like a mini brawl, really, as they're just going punch for punch with each other there, but it was Oops were able to come out on top. Now, as we bring up the stats, are we going to see Mayland here on top?
Not really.
No, not even on the front. Oh, he is just on the front page. But Kaizu, he was the one who had all the health near the end. He was able to pick out his shots. Camille went insane, though. Insane. I mean, 1,700s that single shot onto Diplomat, pretty much. So, yeah, you bring your artillery for the damage, and that's what Insane did. So, well played, Oops, in doing that. The tactic worked out perfectly. It's so often that teams can bring an artillery and it just doesn't work for them, does it?
I look at this. Purple is one of the Bachats who actually pushed there. 400 damage for a tier 10. Not the greatest display. Nile, he went aggressive to spot over the hill. He got perma-checked and killed Scarium, one of the 2 heavies, together with Tyne on a second page. They barely had any impact in the game.
This is Annihilator getting demolished at the start. Didn't have enough
It's
cover
actually,
behind him.
It's actually already the second part of the game, and the important key thing is when Nile pushed there and tried to reveal the position of Oops tanks, Oops already repositioned almost entire force, leaving just Algo behind. And Algo, as we already said, was a bait. So everything after that was just Oops controlling the battlefield and finishing off the game.
1789 was the damage count from that shot from Insane onto Diplomat, leaving him with just a slight sliver of health there. It's like 11 HP or something like that, I think.
At least Kaizu fought here till the end.
So, going into steps, Mojo, who has the advantage on that map, really?
Well, honestly, like, Oops played it really good, more than once. But then they met Ding, and they learned there is another dimension to that map. So we will see between these two. I would favor Oops on this map, but still, GoHard had a lot of time to prepare their own tactics here.
Is it going to be like the previous two matches? Is it going to be GoHard picking up the first one and then Oops picking up the second one?
I don't know, Oops actually really plays steps well. Actually, they might open this with a win.
Well, let's have a look at the vehicles we're going to be seeing used in this battle for each team. Fairly standard lineups here with the bat chats all round, Mojo. We do see a TVP there, however, for Oops.
Well, we have defenders playing standard, Ru that can be climbed up, 113 as an anchor somewhere, and so on. But we have a lot of heavies here on a GoHard side and an RT. Now that may really be in favor of Oops, who can just press them. Also, one important thing here is this is probably in the map pool that's played here the worst map for GoHard, because they have barely 33% overall, and they didn't play that much, while Oops played it twice as much and they have like 65% win ratio. So Oops definitely a favorite here. If GoHard actually manages to come out 1-1 on this map, it will be good for them.
So GoHard would take 1-1 then?
That would be a good one for them. Good trade, because then they will just go over the map that is worst for them. The bad problem for them is here because steps are the tiebreaker map. So it can get iffy for them.
Steps as a tiebreaker is going to be quite an interesting one. Not really seen that yet as a tiebreaker, have we?
Not really. I mean, in that week, it was really not that much played, fortunately, because a lot of teams are actually scared of steps as a tiebreaker map.
Well, let's find out who can take this one. Is it going to be GoHard or Oops as we play on steps now?
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
And here we go with Oops on the defense, GoHard on the attack, and it looks like GoHard are immediately wanting to go north, Mojo.
Yes, they're doing the default here because that kind of approach with RT is maybe even more favorable. So Algo is doing a boost on the other side. He did break a tree, so if Diplomat was aiming on that side, he actually might have connected a blind shot, but he is aiming after his guys. And Oops is playing ultra aggressive because they're anticipating this kind of move by GoHard. It's gonna be interesting. Will they actually peek and try to kill someone?
Carrybarry's able to spot out all four of the tanks of Oops as GoHard try and get their lines ready. We see Tyne taking a shot. GoHard weren't really in position to be able to deal with that. They're backed into a corner. Spoink has got up really far. He's going to give his team some Viti proxy information.
He actually gave them the most important information, that no one climbed that position which usually Spoink uses from attack side. So all the tanks of GoHard are down. That means they will not even try to rotate. They will actually push and fight here.
So they're going to go wrapping round here for Spoink as we see Skyrim getting a shot into him. Going for the ram kill for additional damage there. Diplomat's going to come over as well, but he's not aiming towards Spoink as Kaizu's able to get a shot. Skyrim's the one who gets the final killing blow, but look at the damage going back onto Skyrim and Diplomat from the crossfire. Now Oops are having to back off and reposition here. Interesting trade at the moment.
Percusiat is left here to hold off a bit on a GoHard forces, but we know that he cannot be well covered there. It will be a problem for Oops because they emptied a lot of their clips now. They need to reload and attack again. So we will see some kind of engagement really soon.
Insane and Camille pushing over here, but they're just going to turn and focus on Camille. At the same time, GoHard lose Scarium. This is going blow for blow right now. Diplomat's going to try and focus into Insane, but he only has one more shot left. Grosso's just about to come over reload, and he's going to go over the tracks and follow his teammates. Though actually, yes, he is off reload now. Kaiser's still sitting there in the middle with all his health in IS-7. This is going great for GoHard. This is going terrible for Oops.
I mean, I was commending Oops on well plays for steps, but this is definitely not one of those, because their decision making here was one of the worst I've seen them play in this entire season. And they've been doing a lot of solo crossing the rail and going into the enemy fire one by ones. I cannot understand what is going through their heads in those moments.
So that entire play there was a bit of an oops, as we see only 2 tanks left for their team, and GoHard with 6 tanks, well, 5 if you include Artie as a separate entity. Algo getting the kill onto the artillery there, but it really is too little too late, because Algo is now the only tank left for his team. GoHard with 6 guns still available to them. Diplomat on 19 health is not going to be the one doing any shooting anytime soon, though.
It doesn't even really matter here, because Algo cannot do absolutely anything to win this match. And again, GoHard picks a first round. And this is really good for them, guys, because this is probably one of their best, worst maps.
Yep. Crazy play at the end there for Carrie Barry, making sure that Algo doesn't go anywhere with the full speed ram from the back chat. Sloppy play in the way there from Oops coming over the rails. There wasn't a lot of focused fire,
I think
was
they
there?
were actually caught off by the aggression of GoHard in that moment. But since Point didn't see anyone boosted in that area, they should have actually expected it. The trade was horrible. Even when they lost Point, in my eyes, they should just leave the things as they are and move away.
When Insane and Camille pushed over, the focus fire from GoHard was superb onto Camille. He was the front back chat. A couple of shots came out at the start, like you know, the 1-2 shots, and then at some point somebody obviously went, focus Camille, and that was it. He was gone, like, in a second.
Well, beside that, the problem was because Oops guys were pushing over the rail, not as a team, not as a unit.
Yeah.
There was a huge gap between tanks going over, and it gave all the time in the world that GoHard needed to nicely aim them, do the damage, and then just finish them off later.
Mm-hmm.
So really confused play here by Oops, and they can just bang their own heads because they are guilty for this.
Let's have a look at the damage done in that battle to see where it all came from on GoHard's side.
Kaizu again.
Being ignored there in the IS-7 as they were trying to focus his teammates around him, is able to farm damage. We've seen that so many times in this map where the single shooters can actually be the ones coming out on top because the autoloaders are all focusing each other. Top guy there from Oops, we always see his name coming up there in top damage one. Mainland again.
Mainland again.
But where's the rest of his team is the problem.
Well,
and there they are on the second page. Yeah.
Well, Camille here doing only 1 shot of damage. Insane 2. Spoink actually did more than 2 of them, and he was the first one to die. That's a sad display.
But yeah, but I mean, look at that. You have 3 bat chats, and then doing more damage is your RU251, who's the last guy alive. Like, that's really not good from Oops. They could play better than this by
You
far.
can see the RT of GoHard. He had only a scare factor in him because he's done none damage. No damage at all. Like 250, that you can just neglect it.
So here it is. Spoink's the first one to fall. He's the first one focused. They come over.
And look at this. Look at Camille and Insane. Like, look at the difference between the cross and Grossa. He's not even there yet.
Now they go and focus on Insane. Grossa comes off reload, peeks and just gets himself stuck. Purple's like, hey, wait a minute, I can overmatch on Grossa now. He comes over and kills off Grossa. I mean, there's like... It was all like one at a time, yeah. Like you said, it was really, really strange from Oops, to be honest. It wasn't like the Oops that we know. That would be like one of the 4 teams that didn't make it into Gold Series, arguably, for the rest of the season. That's the kind of play we'd expect from them.
That's why we're watching best of 13 now. So someone has to actually come to 7 games, and even if you slip on some map, you still have time to recover.
Indeed, indeed. Now let's see if they can recover for round 2 and keep the little pattern that we have here going, as we can look at the tank lineups for what the teams are going to be using. Oops this time on attack, GoHard this time on the defense.
GoHard with their 20% win ratio in defense. Not very commendable, but still, if they make any kind of turnover here, it's gonna be a huge hit and surprise. Oops playing with their favorite M53 tier 9 RT, I can bet Insane will play it for sure, but VZ tier 9, so they can probably stick it in a cap and play around it. On the other hand, GoHard playing with 2 heavies in defense and a Leopard. Leopard, we've seen Haiba play it from Kazna behind the 2 cap together with Ru, so maybe even a double boost there. So we will see, will Oops actually try to do really some fast approach, and maybe will GoHard actually play around it.
Yeah, there's the potential for some shenanigans with the WZ. We know it's going to be sitting in a cap circle somewhere. Now, here on Oops Mojo, they've got the M53, M55, whereas previously we just saw GoHard taking the Lorraine 155. Why would teams have a difference with these artillery? What did it bring differently to the team lineups?
It's a team preference, but in this case, let's see. Oops is attacking. This is a high impact artillery that can be moved around the battlefield. It's fairly fast. Reload is not the best, but arc of shooting is really good, and damage, splash damage or direct damage is huge compared to Lorraine. So that RT is really much better if you want to dig out someone from specific positions. Also, having VZ instead of 113, yeah, if you want to sacrifice one heavy for anchor, VZ is really good actually in tier 9. So it's pretty much almost the same gun. I don't see a big loss there, and it could be a huge gain for that RT compared to Lorraine or something else.
Okay, and also the TVP, how's that going to be used here for Oops on the attack?
Well, it's just because when you play with RT, you are less mobile, and you really need some kind of stopping power against enemy. So you need to keep your tanks as much as you can together, and when you split off someone, you need to have some fast burst that will deal with the enemy rotation. So that's why TVP.
Okay, so do you think Oops are going to win this one?
They might as well, yes. But after looking the last game, I really cannot prognose anything like that. I mean, my crystal ball gets broken when people just start feeding.
Should switch off and switch it back on?
Yeah, it just gets blood in its eyes, and you're like, I cannot watch this. This doesn't work.
Your crystal ball has eyes?
Yes, yes.
I never want to see this crystal ball. It's freaking me out.
It just opens like a...
Ah,
special.
Crystal ball with eyes.
Yeah, it's special one.
Okay, so it looks like the teams are just about ready and we are able to jump into the battle. Let us know in chat right now, who do you think is going to win this one? Do you think it's going to be GoHard or do you think it's going to be Oops? Both of these teams have huge followings in chat, I do know. They're going to be coming through to the finals. Are you going to be going to the finals? You know, chat amongst yourselves, let us know. Hashtag Orange Decky.
It's going to be a really interesting to see who will pull this through, because this map actually might be a decider if GoHard takes it.
It could be, yeah. It's going to be the decider if we do all the way to a tiebreaker. Now the teams are ready to go with Oops on the attack and GoHard defending this time round. I think we're going to break the pattern. I think GoHard are going to win this one. We shall see, as we can actually jump right into the battle now and find out if I'm right or not, which generally I'm never right, to be honest, when I try and predict matches.
Are you trying to curse your own team and you have so many players there in fantasy?
It's going to go against me. I have 3 of these guys in fantasy. I did tip them at the start of the season to be one of the teams that I would like to see going through to the grand finals. In previous interviews with Annihilator, Daki has said, or she did say that they wanted to go to playoffs, and this is really aggressive mojo from Oops.
Yeah, Grossa is just going aggressive toward the middle and trying to seize their enemy rotation toward the rail. They are all positioned for it. Maybe Insane will even try to do a blind shot or a boost, but let's see. There is Suxika being pushed up, and let's see, will he manage to do a climb? It looks like he did.
He looks like he should be able to get up from there. Just a little bit of a wiggling to get himself up to the final part. Caribari is going to move away now and position himself. As you can see on the mini-map, Suxika any second now will just start to move a little bit further along the A-line. As he does, he's up the hard bit. There he goes, nicely done. Seen so many teams fail that mojo, haven't we?
Yes, and my bet is that Oops will not even bother to play that side of the battlefield. I mean, it's really highly risky, and if you want to do it, you need to play it like Ding, without RT and press ahead with 7 tanks, ultra aggressive, and rely on your player skill how to deal with them. But GoHard had a free climb there. They might even boost later a light tank to support that Leopard also, but there is no such need yet. Now we have Camille in the back. He is spotting if enemy rotation will come, and he's even pulling back. So Oops is actually gathering up their forces. They will do some pressure on the cap on the one side.
So you can see Insane just coming off a reload now. It's going to get ready to fire a shot across into anyone who's spotted, but this is quite good coverage from Annihilator in this bush. GoHard rotating down to the south side. Do you think this is a good play from GoHard?
Yeah, but Nile can get removed easily from there. Although he has a Leopard behind, so that's a danger that Oops has to be wary of. So my bet is that Artie would actually aim where Leopard is, somewhere on top of the hill, while the other guy is pressed now.
Grossa is the one leading the charge. He is spotted out. There's Annihilator going down exactly as you said. That looks like a blind fire because he's unspotted. Annihilator now knows that if he moves, he's spotted. That's not going to be nice for him. That was about 500 odd in his face. Now he moves. Now he's spotted. He's actually going to get... No, he's not going to get away.
Nope, he's not going to get away. Percussiat playing really aggressive. This is important part here. Look at his position here. He will watch over the middle, and he will play the cooldown as an anchor for his team. He's more or less the bait. There is a huge rotation there from GoHard from the lower side of the map. But my bet is Camille is already boosted up on that E1 position, so he can deal with that.
It's a bit dangerous from GoHard. They're playing very slow with the rotation, almost in a way they're not quite sure what to do. Now, Suxika can spot and can shoot, but any kind of return fire comes back into his way is going to be really problematic because Insane has a perfect angle and perfect arc onto him. And any minute now you might see a huge amount of damage onto the Leopard here as Insane connects with his shot.
Well, if Spoink managed to climb on that boost, that would be a huge advantage for Oops, but unlucky for them, he failed and he did not want to risk anymore because fight will probably start any second now.
Diplomat there looks like he took a hit just on his front tracks, which damaged his tracks, but it also vitally ammo racked him.
It's actually a loader.
This is a loader, so that's going to be really dangerous for him later on because he's going to be losing one of the main advantages of the FV, which is its rate of fire.
Yes, and he does not carry a medic. He has rations, he has a repair kit, he has fire extinguisher, but medic is not something that he has there. Skyrim also losing a driver. Wow, the problems with crew there on GoHard.
Tracked for 152 damage and losing a driver, perhaps splash damage there as we see Mayland being focused there from a great positioning from Tyne shooting down into him. Skyrim taking another shot here as we see Caribari also taking a shot. There's no shots really coming back out in return for Oops. The only person taking damage was Mayland just now and Spoink at the very start of the battle. GoHard have to be really careful of how they push in here. Effectively, it still is 6 on 6 because Oops have an artillery, but you can't discount the artillery.
Suxika falling down from that position. That may be a major mistake here by GoHard because once the push starts, they will have the advantage. Oops will have advantage. Suxika will probably fall and Diplomat will not be able to defend himself.
Suxika decided to come down from that perch. He's now going to be focused on by Grossa, Algo and Spoink as the Wolfpack of these Batchats just take him out in quick time and then back off into safety. Diplomat was able to give some covering fire, but losing his loader is really going to give him problems right now. Also, there's a danger right now of any second of Insane just dropping a shell right on his head.
There is a pressure now coming on Percussiat, but I believe that Oops is actually ready for that. Tyne cannot really join his friends because Camille is still blocking off the back way to Oops. So let's see how will this end because Oops, if they reload and just pressure the middle, they can annihilate GoHard right there.
Tyne spots out Camille in that position, was able to give a covering fire. Kaizu doesn't know which way he's facing as he's got his gun facing one way and his tank facing the other way, driving into a crossfire because he realizes they're pretty much surrounded at that point. Percussiat right now is basically acting as a bait for the rest of GoHard to come in and try and deal with them, where all the guns from Oops can just focus into the tanks from GoHard, and GoHard are just driving right into a trap.
This is a complete disarray of GoHard. You can see that they have no clue what to do at the moment and they're just taking shells and dying all over the place. Camille greeted Tyne. Tyne did a really great move when he climbed that hill and he shot so many shots on Mayland, but Camille returned him the favor, leaving on 100 HP. And look at this now, the battle is going for Oops.
This positioning right now from GoHard is crazy. It really makes no sense for them to be where they are. They should have known that Oops would not commit all of their forces here. They've tried to drive over to take out Percussiat. Percussiat is dead now. Okay, they achieved their objective, but they took so much damage in return for it. There's no way they can really come back for this. And it looks like it's going to be 3-3 as we go into our next map, which is going to be Mines.
Well, we said many times the people lose defense on this map because they put the tanks of those boosted, elevated positions prematurely. And that Leopard really had no business going down because he was the only thing keeping Oops from the rotation. And they just left him and handed him over to die alone.
It's a slow death here from GoHard as Oops can just pick their shots at will. The minute anyone turns, they just leave themselves wide open. Tyne is shooting from the back lines here, trying to get picks into any of the tanks from Oops, but he just doesn't have enough time to do it. There's only less than 3 minutes gone. He only has Scarium left. He doesn't even have Scarium left. He has only himself left with 108 health. Camille and Spoink in the enemy team both have full health. They still also have their artillery. They still also have Grossa. They still also have Meland.
I don't think they will bother even chasing him.
And this is why I don't predict matches, Mojo.
Well, GoHard can thank probably only you because it's your fault they lost.
Yep.
It's 100% your fault.
Yep. But if I say I think it's going to be tiebreaker, it goes to tiebreaker. So it's just not fair. I don't know how to use this power, Mojo. How can I use it for good?
I don't know, mate. If I see a chair flying from production towards you, I will know what happened.
Well, thankfully, you're sitting on my left-hand side, so it might go through you first.
So 10 seconds here till the end of this game, and Tyne will try to do something like a miracle decap, but I don't think it will actually work that way.
I think he's not even going to get near the place because Spoink is already sitting up in perfect blocking position, but it doesn't matter because that's the base captured, and we have it there 3-3 all squared. Now, in all honesty, with these matches, we're expecting long matches. We're not expecting landslide victories. These, you saw when we showed the table earlier on, the third place team and the sixth place team were only separated by 4 points. Now these teams, when they played against each other in the league, with Oops and GoHard and with the other playoff match we have between Kazna and Swift, sometimes the matches were quick, but other times the matches were really drawn out. These teams are pretty much on the same skill level. You have Ding, who's a cut above the rest, let's be honest. But these guys are all very, very close, and to the same extent, Utopia as well.
When I was watching the map picks, actually, I was expecting here Oops to maybe do a 4-2 here to leap off, but losing that first game in that manner they did, which was really badly played, well, that's 3-3. And I really didn't expect both teams to lose defense on Ruinberg. But that's just details. It will still end up 1-1.
Yep. Now let's have a look at the damage done in that battle and see who came out on top for their team. Algo in the back chat. Percusia in that holding position was able to farm a lot of damage.
Well, that's an unusual one, you would say. I mean, having both of them in a top damage dealing positions.
Algo's usually the scout as well, so that's good for him.
Yeah, when you put him on tier 10, he usually lines his shots really well. But he does not get that chance often. And Percusiat, we often see him stranded somewhere, dying alone.
Yes, getting eliminated or getting encircled. No Mayland on the first page, though. I wonder if he's going to be top of the second page. No. Oh, wow.
It was a problem because Tyne, when he wrecked him from that elevated position, he had to run away in the backline and he had no possible shots.
Wow. Daki will be crying in the corner somewhere right now.
He probably sold him out like everyone else.
Everyone else, yeah. I was actually talking to Vetso from Kazna Crew during the interviews and I said, you know, Daki's still not got you in his team. To me, that means no hoodie. Just saying, team captains. This is Annihilator here, just when I thought he was just going to get slightly over that hill, it doesn't happen. A failed boost there from Spoink, not something we see every day, is it?
Yeah, it's a rare occasion, but it happened. Still, Oops already had a great advantage in positioning here and leaving Leopard here. I mean, Suxika, was that a team decision that he would go down and stay there? Because that was really a nonsense.
Yeah, gave away that position. Tyne trying to get the boost again. Too little too late by that stage. He was only tank left.
Even if he did, what will he achieve? Points for Style?
Style points.
And what would happen to the rest of his team? They would still be dead.
Style, control, damage and aggression. So it could be how we judge things here on the Wargaming League, or it could be how they judge things on Robot Wars. Now our next map, Mojo Mines.
Do you really want me to say it?
Don't do it.
I won't.
Go on, how's it pronounced?
Main.
Okay.
Almost.
Thank you everyone in chat for right now saying Mines. Very nice. I know I pronounce it funny, but it's never going to change. So yeah, Mines. There you go. Who has the advantage here, Mojo?
Well, Oops actually has a really bad record on mines on attack, but since they're defending now, it's their cup of tea, almost 80% in defense. But same does have GoHard has the same when they start defending. So we will see, will GoHard's attack actually be enough to break them here, because it's gonna be quite interesting and important. We've seen GoHard knows to play a lot of traps here on this map, mind games of a sort, and this time they do not have an RT in attack, so Diplo is not playing an RT. He will probably be on that grille.
Well, let's jump into the action here on Mines, which is going to be our 4th map of the day.
Mines, a small summertime map with lots of hills, rocks and other cover. The teams start the battle in the usual locations, but the base locations are different. One is located in the bottom part of the village and the other one is in the water. One of the key objectives is the center hill. That's why the teams will often select fast vehicles and tanks with strong turrets for cover.
GoHard pushing out from their base here, Mojo, as our Oops. It looks like we might get a big fight in the middle.
Bro! Yes!
Here we go, here we go. We're going to get a good old face-off here in the middle. As you see, Oops taking their safe route into the middle. Algo nearly making a mess of it, giving themselves good space to get up there. Annihilator going into a very common place. You would always see a T50 or T51 sitting up there. Sealance is spotted, Algo is spotted, Insane is spotted, Camille is spotted.
Already
GoHard are all up there. Annihilator nearly sliding down there. What is going on in the hill right now as everyone is holding position and nothing is happening?
Majority of Oops tanks already took the hill, and GoHard actually acknowledges that, so they cannot really push it like that. Grossa controlling the middle with that 1-1-3, and there is a push here by Oops mediums.
And here is the fight starting out as Insane is trying to get shots into Diplomat. Purple got one back into him. Insane's being focused. Spoink and Sealant's being hyper aggressive here. They know they have the overmatches. Diplomat and Purple will decide to drop down. Purple nearly getting himself stuck there. Diplomat killing himself as he actually retreats off the hill. Bad angle. Kaizu killing Grossa, Algo killing Annihilator. This is going blow for blow, but it's going completely in Oops' advantage, and they might break the little pattern here and take the first battle, Mojo.
They really wrecked GoHard here in aggression. They managed to pull off more guns on that hill and gain significant positions now. And we have Kaizu and not a Diplo on that butshot. Maybe that was not the best choice they had at this game.
GoHard already down to just 2 tanks alive right now. Purple in the bat chat, Tyne in the tier 9 bat chat, and Oops have everyone available other than Grossa, so they still have 6 guns available. Spoink on 63 health, however. Wow, GoHard, that was over kinda quick.
That was a short game. I mean, it's still in progress, but the deed is already done. Purple and Tyne. It's gonna be no way in hell they are going to bring this back to them. We had this Melan like hopping over with that grille and giving him a peck.
That fall from Diplomat, it looked like when he backed off, he was in an area that was too steep, and he's just rolled off and gone straight onto his nose to take all the damage there. Massive hit. We might be able to catch that on the replay and just see how much health he had when he dropped.
About 700-800.
Wow. Didn't retreat fully. I mean, sometimes if you go off those areas on the middle area and you go off too fast, you don't use the terrain, you just go straight down.
Still, the key feature is they actually lost those positions already. Even if he went down and survived,
yeah,
he would still have to run around. And Oops had all the positions to shoot them left and right as they pleased. That was really good play by Oops, aggressive. GoHard, I don't know, it was kind of too passive.
I think GoHard were not prepared at all for that push from Oops. I mean, so many teams, when they play defense on mines, they play it very passively. They very much say, okay, we're here. We're going to try and make sure somebody boosts up the right side and doesn't fail. Because so many teams, usually when the defending team loses, because a boost was failed on the right hand side and they don't have that east side of the map. But yeah, I guess that's what GoHard were expecting, and Oops were like, no, we're gonna take middle and going to be aggressive.
Yeah, but Oops is not one of those teams. They really like to play aggressive, and GoHard knows that, and they should be prepared for this.
But if you're doing something that the team expects, isn't the best thing to do something that they don't expect?
But Oops still did something expected, and it just
worked
like a charm.
Okay, well, GoHard, you let them in there, lads. So now the pattern is broken. We see Oops picking up the first win on a map. And they did it on defense, which is defense is their speciality.
Yes. Now they will have to actually prove it on attack side, which is hardly their specialty. I mean, 27% in attack. Not so good by Oops.
It's really not good, no. And we see top damage here coming out from Mayland. Number 1 there for Oops. Annihilator's really not having the best of couple of games recently.
No.
You jinxed him by saying about his fantasy points.
But his position there, it's not meant to deal with the hill push. So he was already in a bad position. Also, they had a Grilla below. Also, they had a Heavy below. So a lot of tanks that were actually out of the fight, and those budgets were just simply outnumbered. Good call by Oops by pushing and pressing there, and look at Deep getting wrecked there.
He was in. I mean, he had Camille behind him as well, so
Look
he
at
had
this overmatch.
crossfire.
Look at this overmatch. They simply have nothing to deal with these tanks. No one.
Kaizu, purple coming round. I mean, by this time it's all completely game over, game over. Oops can just stay where they are, safely reload. Tyne shooting into Insane. We've already missed the kiss coming over there from Mayland onto the top of purple as he peeked over, smacked him and then pulled back over the ridge line there. So nicely played by Oops, nice quick match. Let's look at the lineups for round 2 here. See if there's anything different being used from each team.
Let's see, Oops in attack now, playing with artillery. M40 comes in here. So we will see will Insane play it or someone else. TVP to cover, and from the GoHard side, well, pretty standard here.
Pretty standard lineups indeed. The only thing I did notice is this is the only artillery being used in both rounds, so we only see artillery once featuring for each team. Now, how's it going to impact the battle? Well, let's...
GoHard didn't have RT in last game.
Yep, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. It's the only time Artie's featured in this map between the two of them. So let's find out and see how it's going to be used, as we do see Insane on the artillery. Oops are going to be attacking with GoHard defending. Is it going to be another big fight in the middle, or are GoHard going to have a more standard defense? Who's going to do the boost? Is it going to be Kaizu, or is it... Kaizu's failed this one a couple of times. Can he do it this time?
Let's go.
He's
He's actually
going for
trying to do it again. I mean, in the last 2 or 3 matches, he failed, and there we go. Points
Well
for a
done.
style.
Well done, Kaizu.
Now, Oops is doing fairly aggressive approach there. They actually might spot him, and we need to see. But he can fall down. Why?
Kaizu, mate, come on. We go through this every single week where you don't like us highlighting you failing boosts. And the only way for us not to highlight you failing a boost is for you to make the boost.
I mean, this is a big loss for their team. Lucky for him, actually, Oops doesn't know because they took a slower approach there. And purple here is there with Tyne and Kerryberry. And Kaizu, if he was up on a hill, they would be in position to annihilate Oops now. But now, this can be only a gamble because they will be outnumbered.
This fight right now without Kaizu is going to go completely against GoHard, as they do not have the guns to be able to deal with Oops. The focus fire coming back out from Oops is great. Look at this from Mayland getting shots into Scarium as well. Tyne going back over, very bold move to do when Spoink still has shots available to him. Damage widespread across Oops right now as Percusiat was being focused as well, but he's not dead. He's still alive as he's able to get the kill on Kaizu, who went all the way around the middle map, and now GoHard are down 2 tanks, 3 tanks as we see Tyne. This is already a really bad start for them,
HP
Mojo.
goes for GoHard, but Oops still has 7 guns in a game. And now they know even when annihilated Kaizo. When he failed the climb, he went immediately around the hill to do a circle, but it didn't work out well for him. And it's a struggle, and GoHard is getting whooped.
Diplomat deciding to get the kill into the low damage tank, but already you can see the Batchat just swip round there from Camille with his full clip into Diplomat. He does get the kill on Diplomat as well. Spoink is just about to come off reload as well. Those Batchats are going hunting. All we have left is Annihilator, and he's been found by Mayland. He's on fire, and he's gone.
But he's on fire, but not in a positive way. He just got
He's
set
on fire.
and he's wrecked, and he missed 2 or 3 shots with that 49 in a row.
Right now, Oops are on fire, as they've just been able to pick up 2 wins on the trot.
And it looked like this, and it started in this game just by one little glitch. Like, tactically, if you watch, what GoHard did there was really correct. Those 3 guys up, covered by Kaizu from the back rocks, if he managed to do the climb, that would bring them a victory 100%. 100%, because they would have such a stopping power that Oops would probably lose all their minions right there. But that one gun was really missing. So they were forced to push him around the village, and he went on that heavy from the back. He did some damage, but it was to a guy who was playing an anchor, who was not really important part in that moment, and he also opened himself for Mayland, who could just clip him for free.
It's also not just 2 wins in a row, it's actually 3 because they won the second round of steps. So Oops now on a 3-battle win streak right now. Confidence is going to be high. We're going into Himmelsdorf as the next map, but let's have a look at the stats there for top damage done. And that guy, once again, take him out of the scouts, put him in a tier 10, and there you go, just have Algo carry your team for you, Mojo.
Wow, Algo stepping up as he's being given a chance to play tier 10 again. So Algo, Camille and Malen here, and not many of the GoHard guys there. Kaizu, yes, he did 2000 damage, a full clip, but that was a full clip on a heavy tank while his mediums were pretty much decimated already.
Yep, had he been up in that position, the crossfire that he could have gave could have been vital in that fight that happened, but you know, hindsight's 2020. If hindsight was foresight, we wouldn't make mistakes. 3 tanks there from Insane, from Oops, doing pretty rubbish there, to be honest, at the bottom, but it doesn't matter because the other tanks in their team carried them. I mean, it was top 3 damage for Oops.
Percusiat was anchor, and he was one wrecked by Kaizu there. Insane obviously didn't have that big shots, but it doesn't matter because the rest of the guys did a great lead, and this is the big battle on the hill that actually won them the game. But it was 4 against 3. That's the most important part. If it was 4 against 4 with Kaizu trenched up on the hill, that would be a GoHard victory for sure.
Yep, Grossa getting that shot into, I believe it was, it was Insane getting the shot into Grossa, but Grossa already had low HP. See Annihilator just driving away here in flames. Yeah, I mean, Diplomat, shot priority, you want to take guns out of the game. I can understand him taking that shot. He didn't know the bat chats were around the corner. He could have potentially taken out Camille, I think, but Camille was able to clip him, like a full clip into him, and take him out.
Who was playing 49 before for GoHard? I think it was usually Kaizu, if I'm...
Suxika, maybe, I think. I'm not sure, to be honest. Now, we're going into Himmelsdorf now. Mojo, how do you see this one going as we can have a look at the lineups?
Well, both teams are really equal here. About 55, 56% win rate for both of them, so not a big difference. It's gonna be... It actually really goes well for Oops because they just need 1-1 here. 1-1 and they're 1 step away from the victory. So they don't really have to commit. GoHard now actually has to make all the plays.
And interesting again from GoHard, it's going to be Annihilator playing the scout for them.
Well, we will see that when the game comes out, but 1390 and in defense and that FV 183, so he'll probably do some spot on the middle while DTD is positioned to aim. They have a couple of faster tanks that can go down the rail, but not so many. It gives a lot of opportunity for Oops that has really standard fast lineup that can go anywhere on a map.
How do you feel on defense taking the 2-on-5B?
On 183 TD, man, against this lineup, it's really good because if he actually manages to position himself well and do initial nice shot, it will be brilliant.
Okay, well, let's find out if they can make that tank work to its best advantages as we can jump into Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf, a small city map. The teams start the battle in opposite corners. Both bases are located close to each other, but in a way that you can't stay on the defensive all the time. The main attack routes pass through the hill, the alley and the railroad, but in general, the attack can be successfully executed through any part of the map. Heavy tanks and tank destroyers with powerful guns run the show here. However, a lot depends on the mobile light tanks.
A lot depends on the mobile light tanks. Indeed, they are vital in this map for spots because there is so much terrain in the way of each team's.
Really aggressive approach on a hill here from Oops. They are sending Algo on an unusual spot here toward the middle, and Insane is point instantly going there. Will they actually try to catch off someone here?
No
wow, he was even faster than Annihilator there.
It's really interesting. Positioning, I guess it was from the spawn area. If you have the advantage of the spawn, you can get up there quicker. Now, Annihilator has spotted him, fired off a shot and missed. I imagine at some point Annihilator's going to do a quick, cheeky reload. Can they afford to do that? But, I mean, what's going on down the bottom here, Mojo?
If you're wondering why those heavies were positioned like that, they were actually expecting maybe Annihilator to spot from the middle, from that D5 area, and he would get spotted and pretty much wrecked. Because he would be in a crossfire, but those budgets from the hill and the guys from down, and he would have nowhere to go, which would pretty much cut off any kind of eyes and mobility from GoHard. They would just depend on single budget then to do all the rotations, which is not fairly well. So it's pretty lucky or planned that GoHard actually did not spot like that because they are more or less camping in a corner.
was going to see who's Ceylon shooting at, but there we go, he's shooting at purple. He's not going to do anything from that angle. But, well, why not? Just let everyone know you're there.
Now, of course, Oops cannot know where these tanks are. They spotted a couple of them, like Tyne and Annihilator, but they really don't know where the majority of other tanks is. If they knew, they would really just probably press on a 3-line and cut off the enemy in 2, because they would not be able to really defend themselves.
Spoink, I don't know if he's deliberately spotting or if he's DC'd and just going round in circles, but this is good from him because the rest of GoHard have no idea who else is up there, so they don't know if there's going to be a big push coming over that hill in any second now, or if their tanks are like we can see here on, because we have the advantage of the map lined up at the bottom as well.
A slow game coming in here. Algo is checking out who is on rail and where. He has to do it carefully because, well, let's face it, he doesn't know where that FVTD is, and if he packs him one time, that will be the last time for him.
Spoink having the time of his life here, just driving round and round in circles. You can see it on the minimap, he's taking the same route every single time, although he has actually just changed it slightly now. For a long time, all he was doing was just driving in a circle, keeping Annihilator there spotted and doing enough so that he wasn't able to be spotted quick enough to take a counter shot. There he goes again, carrying on his little circle here. It's just all he's doing is just going round in a circle.
Well, as I mentioned, there is some grouping here from Oops, and Grossa is close to their 3-line. So they're going to probably try to cut off the enemy somewhere there. Purple being there on 5-line really makes it more or less impossible for them to just push there.
He's just baiting shots. And everyone else is completely static right now in both teams.
Silence is spotted here by Purple. He even took a shot back. Oh my god.
Purple, you should not be getting shot from that situation, mate. Like, the angling should just shouldn't happen.
The Silence who shot him. But we have these guys unspotted crossing, and Grossa, Camille, Mayland are coming in there. Algo got spotted and he saw Kaizu in the garage, so he knows position of one more tank. That's important info for Oops, because they can pretty much well judge now where is the enemy. So the Butshot's insane, and Spoink, I guess they will shortly get out of that hill.
Courtyard control, we've said it many times. Many teams have failed trying to get in that position as they get countered with a push all the way down the 8 line or the 7. But GoHard not in a position for that. GoHard are quite spread out at the moment, Mojo, but Grossa could drive into a world of pain if he goes round this corner.
Yeah, but he will be with a lot of friends there, and only Skarim can help to carry Berry here. And Butchots are pushing away from the hill. That will be the cue, and this will be the fight.
Great pincer movement here from Oops. Can they get it working in their favour as the Batchats are going to come down the other side? But the main fight is going to be here with the heavies as Grossa and Ceylons are going to jump into Karibari. Karibari's going to get a shot, so you see the crossfire coming in from Kaizu and Scarium. Kaizu coming back through the train building as he's going to get shots back in. Grossa is the first one to fall there on Oops. Camille might be the second one to fall if the focus fire from GoHard can go down. We see Annihilator getting dropped by the Batchats as Spoink and Insane come down the other side. Diplomat's going to be the next one to face off against him. It's going to be how much damage Diplomat can do in his FV. But this trade, I mean, Oops still have a lot of health, Mojo, but they've lost 2 tanks as well.
Yes, Silence is playing a bit like a drunk there. He completely missed entire reload trying to decide who will he shoot, and the focus fire was not really the greatest for Oops. They should have played more aggressive.
Oh, Diplomat just wipes out Annihilator with the one shot there. Fantastic effort there, but he is now on a reload, and he's stuck between Spoink and Mayland, but Mayland is ignoring him. He wants to help out Ceylon's here, but Kaizu and Purple are going to turn into Mayland, but Mayland is an autoloader. He's going to get a lot of shots off here.
It doesn't really matter because he will be in reload soon, and Spoink being the only guy there will not really help them. Mayland has to run for his life. Tyne will pretty much end him, and then it will be Spoink against Diplo. Diplo, he didn't pen.
Oh, he didn't pen, but huge damage again from Diplomats. He is able to get 2 shots off there in the FE215B. So the push from Oops was good, but the execution was rubbish.
There was not a really great focused fire, and I would say those mediums did not do the impact they wanted because they came from the back and they got more or less stopped without doing any significant damage here. It was a good read by Oops, how is GoHard position, but that push by them was not executed in the best manner. I mean, when you go there, you need to do high risk, you need to kill tanks fast, even if you're losing so much HP as they did, and you cannot tiptoe around it.
You could see that when they came down, they took out Annihilator, and I think what happened is they both drove down and went, oh heck, the FV's here, and neither one of them wanted to take the hit. And you saw that when Diplomat did have the opportunity to get a hit, it was a one-shot. Boom, Batchat gone. Like, removed immediately.
Yeah, but that time already GoHard had a huge advantage, so even if Insane ran away, I don't think it would really impact the game or change it in any ways, because these guys were already in a dire spot. So, good play here for GoHard. This will definitely bring them back in the game. Maybe, if they manage to sneak away the their attack here on Himmelsdorf, they might completely come back, and then we will still have an even match.
Even match indeed, because this one looks like it's going GoHard's way, so it's going to be 5-4. Spoink's going to drive down into Kaizu and realise Spoink is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because if he goes the other way, he has Diplomat. 420, no fire. He's lucky there, Spoink. Kaizu's going to reload and hit him with another one. Spoink's choosing to go back down over the other road, but I mean, Kaizu can just go over the road and kill him either way, so Spoink really can't go anywhere right now. He does track Tyne, but Tyne picks up the kill there. So nice win from GoHard. They withstood that pincer attack there from Oops quite well, and the execution from Oops when it happened was not good.
Well, it didn't work out the best. I would say the main problem was, for one, focus fire they had on the 3-line, because they didn't really finish off the tanks, and a bit confused play by some of their heavies like Silence, who was really turning around and trying to aim someone, and I don't know, God knows what. And again, then the play by Batchats from the back that were effectively out of the game most of the time, because they were, well, let's face it, too scared to get one shot by one A3, but they always had a choice to just come from the hill in full speed and join them through the fire line, and just be part of the fight and just ignore him. I mean, okay, it's easier as us for spectators to say comments like this, because it's easy to be smart general after the battle is done.
Yeah, armchair general,
still,
the dead general.
Yeah, but still, they are the guys that are in top of the league, so they should be aware of this. Anyways.
Yeah, it was Batchats could have done better. I would have just gone down there, hell for leather, full speed, and just hoping that the reactions of the FE would have been too slow.
I wouldn't. Like, I was actually expecting them to not go through that area, to show themselves they're coming from the hill, and they just turn and use their speed and go from the lower side, because no one could stop them, and they would be right there with their tanks in the middle of the fight. Maybe 20 seconds later, 15-20, but still a decisive factor. And now, like this, they were just out of the game.
Yep, let's have a look at the highlights, and we can see the flash. Oh, sorry, the stats first, my bad, as we look at the damage done here. Spoink coming out on top, Mayland coming out second for his team, but then the rest of damage there coming out from GoHard.
Yes, Spoink and Mayland are really playing their games here, but they are the best players in their team, so we can expect this. But more team play came from GoHard, so it didn't really matter if they did the top damage, if the rest of the team was nowhere to be found.
Diplomat there, 2 shots, over 2k damage. One was a one-shot, 1,800 on the Batchat.
Grosso was the first one to push with that 113. He got wrecked by, I think, Scarium from side. And Insane
got
only one shot.
Yep, he got one-shotted by the FV. So let's have a look at the highlights. I'm pretty sure we'll have that Insane kill by the FV as they come round, and we can see where the Batchat's just kind of get stuck.
Look at Grossa now. Look at Grossa now, taking all the damage in the world from the tanks on a 2-line and from the guys in the front.
Yep.
So pretty bad. And look at Silence here, like, come on, man.
Look at the Batchats as well. They're just stuck there. They don't know what to do. Now they decide to run. Boom, gone.
And
blink of an eye.
Insane, who has 4 out of 5 shells in a clip, he just gets removed from the map. Not the best play by them. But next map, if they still keep the Himmelsdorf on 1-1, as we said, they will have a match point, and it will be a dire situation for GoHard.
I think it was some definite probable. That makes no sense, Hector. Definitely, maybe. Possibly some communication issues there with the Batchats, with everyone saying, should we come, should we not, like go south rather than go straight forward. But we'll never know because we don't have TeamSpeak available to us. Now, let's have a look at the lineups for the next battle here. Interesting to see what tanks are going to be used for Himmelsdorf as the teams switch positions.
I7 defense by Oops. will they actually try to play some really aggressive with that 1-1-3 and I7? And it's going to be interesting to see. Fairly standard lineup for this season by GoHard. By that we mean 2 1-1-3s, 350Bs, budget, and a 1390. And in those lineups, usually you can just replace 150B with Grille or one more 1-1-3, depending what you want to play. But overall, fast lineup that can go on any part of the map. Oops, a bit slower because of I7 and the FVTD.
Okay, so let's jump into the action here for round 2 on Himmelsdorf. Are Oops going to get a point closer and take it into match point, or are GoHard going to bring it back to 5-5, and then we're going to see what happens on the next map, which actually is going to be Muruvanka. Oh, my favourite one, Mojo.
Bushwanka.
You what?
Bushwanka.
What'd you call me? Right. Now, the lineup here from Oops, very defensive on the rail tracks, Mojo, and GoHard are going straight for the banana road.
So Kaizu here, spotting from the upper side to see his enemy anywhere to be seen. He will actually see Insane. That couldn't be his spot, no way. This guy's from the 8 line. Really aggressive approach here by GoHard.
Kaizu taking a big hit there, 450 on his Batchat. GoHard are going to continue to push up the road there. We see the shot coming out and missing there. Are GoHard going to go for a cap rush, Mojo?
Well, they already gained a lot of positions there, so there is no reason not to do it at the moment. But interesting where they actually position Algo. Algo is in position where you usually keep a heavy tank on A5.
Yeah, that's bold from Algo.
It's
Somebody forgot to tell Algo that he's not in the tier 10 this time?
But still, he can be a surprise. And while they keep all their main battle tanks elsewhere, they can just sacrifice him to deal with the A-line cap. So it's not that bad thing. I mean, it's better than to just try to do some shenanigans with him from the back that will usually end up miserably anyways.
I was going to say, it's Camille. Camille, with the current spotting mechanics, didn't see Annihilator till it's too late. Next patch Annihilator, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd probably get wrecked by the TD sitting there.
But it doesn't even matter because now Algo, when the time comes, can deal with Annihilator one-on-one.
Cheeky. Cheeky, providing nobody gives crossfire to him though.
It's going to be really hard for them to give any crossfire without significant peeking, and still, especially since Oops will come from the courtyard as usual probably and try to fire from there. Now we have a couple of tanks of Oops up on a hill. It's really important for them actually that they both don't get spotted, because in that case GoHard can just do a push and just wreck them.
Now one of them has been spotted. They've spotted Insane. The good thing is that Spoink went low, so the Batchat didn't see him. So Spoink is not spotted. Only Insane is what they saw there.
Malen is already positioning to try to deal if any kind
Now
of counter push comes. Algo is spotted and there is a decap. So he decapped the 1390, but they still need to deal with purple capping.
Kaizu's going to get around the corner safely. He takes a little bit of damage there. 75 as he crashes in. He's not round the corner safely. GoHard are going to take the overmatch. They're going to push into the tanks here. They know that there's a Batchat and a 50B up on the hill. GoHard really need to make those shots count right now. They're driving across the crossfire. They're going to try and focus Camille and Algo, and then they're going to turn back on Mainland and Grossa.
Camille needs to do one good shot now. The game may depend on it.
They took a huge amount of damage. Camille gets caught turning, and they take out Algo as well. GoHard have taken a lot of damage here. Can they turn around now and focus on the remaining tanks of Oops? So a lot of damage GoHard took. This could go really against them as we see Scarium getting dropped now.
It's unreal that actually Camille didn't even fire a shell. He could have brought like victory to Oops right there, but he didn't fire a single shell. He was like, turning. Why?
GoHard had the plan here, but they took so much damage crossing that road where you had Grossa and Sealant sitting there. Mainland was also there, but he's backed off as Spoink and Insane come down now as well. They have all the HP and they have the shells to do it. GoHard really need to start focus firing quickly and get their guns ready and reloaded, because this is going to be bad once Spoink and Insane get around the corner.
Well, Silence is here focusing his fire on purple, but he's gonna get harassed by Annihilator. But most of their tanks being stuck right there in the middle will not end well for GoHard, because they have no means to go out of those positions. Diplomat will be removed now, and then Tyne in reload, Nile in reload. Malen will have a free farm here.
Mainland coming in with these two shots, gets one into Tyne, gets the second one into Tyne. There he goes now, Mainland on a reload. Sealance finishes him off, getting the kill onto Tyne as Kaizu comes running in at the end. He has a full clip. can kill Mayland perhaps and Sealance. Actually, no, he can't because Spoink is there on the overlap. Oops win it after a scrappy fight. I would say the biggest flaw there from GoHard is they committed pretty much the entire team to take out the TD and lost about half of their HP in doing so.
I really expected a counter push by GoHard there, but what I did not expect is Camille not even to fire a shell.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he was in reload in a moment when they pushed, but there was so many potential targets. Like, what was he doing? Why did he even try to turn? Okay, one guy bypassed him, shoot another. There was like 4 more.
Yeah.
Just take a pick, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anywhere he fired, he would hit someone.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Unfortunate for him, but on the move across, GoHard just took damage across the board. I think almost every single one of their tanks had taken at least 2 hits by that
Yes, but Oops
stage.
positioned right for that. So when they do the counter push, when they see the tanks from the hill, that was their plan from the start, they would do the damage and they would hide. So they were counting on that kind of Zerg reaction, but it didn't work out in GoHard favor. Also, I think they really, as you said, committed too many tanks to just one TD, while they should have pushed on Mayland on a side.
Yeah, down the side road is where I would have probably gone myself, but I'm not the pro esports player, I'm just a commentator. Now, damage done, who do you think actually came top damage?
Mayland.
Mayland? Always Mayland, always a safe bet for Mayland.
No, he did a lot of clips there.
On GoHard, who do you think would be top damage?
From that scrappy? Who's playing the 50B is one of those.
That's a good point. I'd maybe go for Purple. Why not? I've never seen Purple up high, so that would be my guess.
We've seen him lead on Prokhorovka.
Oh! He was on the 113. He wasn't an auto-loader, but he was the top damage dealer there for GoHard.
So insane silence and Mayland almost nowhere to be found there. Never mind.
Insane and silence are top.
Yes, and Mayland is on 6 points.
Mayland's down 6 points.
Yes.
Daki's going to be upset about that.
Still doing casual, normal damage most of the time.
Scarium, well, that'll be a game you want to forget, mate. Camille as well, 75 damage. That's when somebody driving into him.
Probably, yeah. That's probably just a ram shot.
Yeah.
That's really bad for FVTD, but it ended well because the other guys carried the game.
Kerry Berry, it's not really going for him there. Let's have a look at the highlights. And this is where the fight just went crazy. Camille doesn't get the shot off. He gets caught turning for some reason, Mojo, trying to get the guy that was going behind him.
I really don't understand what was in his mind at that moment, but still, Oops managed to take the victory in their favor, and that's the most important thing because now they actually have a match point, and that's quite an advantage.
Look at this. Sealance is still in the middle of 3 GoHard tanks, and at the end he's able to get the killing blow onto Tyne and survive that entire thing. So 3 GoHard tanks ran into the area where Sealance is, and he's still able to survive after that entire fight. And after that whole brawl's been done, he was still there. I think at one point he was in between 4 GoHard tanks.
I have one question for you.
Okay.
You have a match point for Oops, so they're going into Murovanka. Can you guess once what's the worst thing that can happen now to GoHard?
Would be to have a mass disconnection for all your players.
Except that they're playing attack.
Playing attack against a team with the second best defense.
Yes, on Murovanka as a match point for Oops. Not a good place to be on.
Rush tactics, and it looks like that's exactly what the lineup here is for GoHard. This to me looks like an all-in cap rush.
With artillery?
Yes.
Maybe they will use him as 5th.
Yes.
But they are lacking an i7 in that case. So, Oops here has a classic 1390, but interesting thing is they have 3 fast clippers here, 257s as an anchor and the TVP for support. So, a lot of meaty tanks here for Oops. And GoHard with that artillery, I don't know, Lorraine Arty, even as a shield, it usually didn't work out on this map.
Yeah, they must have some kind of bold tactic ready to be used because that is a heck of a lot of firepower available for GoHard on the defense and to be able to rotate with it as well. If there is a cap rush tactic coming out from GoHard, Mojo, what's the best way that Oops have to be able to defend against it?
They have 257s. That's a really good defense against it, honestly, because once they start pushing around that corner and pressing with the other tanks, they will have so much DPM that I don't know can GoHard actually deal with it, especially with Arty.
Well, let's find out. Match point to Oops. Can they take the entire win and go on to the LAN finals? Let's find out on Murovanka.
Muravanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
And no cap rush from GoHard, it seems, Mojo.
No, I mean, with Arti, you should really even not try it. But Grossa doing unusually deep spot with that light tank, that's not something we see often, and most of the Oops tanks are just lingering on one spot and waiting to see, will there be actually that kind of push by GoHard?
He's spotted, his sixth sense has gone off, and he's like, ah, nuts, a better move. But nobody's making a move on him, and he knocked over a tree as well, which is not really a good play from a scout, what you want to see at the start.
When you run for your life, trees are just an obstacle.
No, but when he was going into position, he knocked one over, because you could see it from Carry Barry's viewpoint, so good positioning from Carry Barry to be able to counter that hyper-aggressive spot from Grossa, but look at this from Insane, Mojo.
Oh, such a big push here by Oops. Aggressive play in defense.
Oops are going hyper-aggressive here. They want to seal out the battle against GoHard. They're trying to catch him with their pants down. Scarium's going to be the one they focus into. We see Annihilator. He's going to be actually the first one down. Scarium is down as well. Great play from Oops here. They've managed to eliminate 2 of GoHard's tanks already, and the rest of Oops are coming in. They're going to focus out the next one. Diplomat and the artillery is gone. GoHard are in a lot of trouble right now.
If they don't manage to catch some of the tanks of Oops here, they are done. They are dusted, as Ducky would say. And we will see him very soon, it looks like.
GoHard, you need to start focusing tanks right now. You can see Camille just coming off reloading the T-57. He's going to focus into purple. We see Mayland up on top. He's got a full clip ready to go. Sealance has 2 shots ready to go into GoHard. Purple is dropped. Tyne is the next one dropped. GoHard are down to only 2 tanks left in Kaizu and Carry Barry. And this is GG. It's all over. Oops are going to be going through to the regional finals.
And you would say well deserved. Like, look at the amount of aggression they mounted now. This is a brilliant play. They caught them hands down, mate. Split away, and they use it in the best way.
Very nicely done there from Oops. They're just like, guys, let's just seal the deal. Let's just put this one to bed. Fair play. Very, very well done. GoHard were not ready for that.
No, this is a 3rd defeat from for GoHard from Oops, so it's not a coincidence. Oops, again, a better team, and by the last game, really deserved.
Yep.